Hey guys, it's Jill. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome. So today we are going to be doing an empty house tour. This is the house that I just moved from, and this is such a bittersweet video, so I hope that you guys enjoy. You have never seen the outside, obviously due to privacy reasons, but now since I will not be moving or living there anymore, I decided to show you the outside of the house, and this was so my dream house. I absolutely loved it, so I'm so excited to share it with you. This is the front door, and I have a little story that I want to tell you guys. So let's talk about change. Let's be real, change is scary AF, but you know what else changes? It's exciting. And you know what else is scary? Staying complacent and staying in your comfort zone and not getting out there and challenging yourself. But change is also refreshing, and it's just what my life has needed these past few years. I needed a change. I will never forget the day I walked into this house. It was my dream house, and I was so excited for me and my kids to have a fresh start in this house. It was exciting and so very scary because the house is much bigger than anything I've ever taken care of alone, but I was up for the challenge. And while I loved this house so much, it was everything I thought I wanted, but somehow it just never felt right. It never felt like home to me, and while I learned so much about myself and what I'm capable of, it always felt like too much, and then I was always trying to buy this and buy that to fill up the empty spaces and the empty closets that were in this house. But honestly, I was just trying to fill a void within. While this house holds tons of laughter and good times, it also holds a lot more pain, grief, and tears. I have grieved so many friendships and relationships in this house and learned so much about myself, and I did the healing that I know that I truly needed to do inside. This empty house tour is so bittersweet for me and my kids. We learned, we laughed, we grieved, and we cried together in this house, and we are so ready for our next adventure and the next chapter in our lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. So make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming adventures in Charlotte, and also make sure you stay tuned for an empty apartment tour coming up very soon. Now I know some people might say, well, wait a minute, you just said apartment tour. Yes, I did, my dear, because again, this house, while I loved it, it was perfect for 2020 and having to quarantine because we needed that extra space, and it was nice to have that extra space. However, I always felt like it was just too cold. No matter how much I tried to warm up the house or fill up the house with new furniture or new board games or new electronics or whatever, it just always felt so cold to me. And I would always tell friends this, I would tell family this, and I could never explain why it felt this way, or why I felt this way, but it just was too much for me. I realized my room, while it was gorgeous, it was entirely too large. And while some people might think that having a really large bedroom is a dream for them, me, it was wasted space. There was too much wasted space in this house. So for me, having an apartment where it's a smaller, more intimate gathering place, where if we feel like we're too much on each other or up in each other's business, we can go out of our front door and go to the pool or go to the front office and work. Not the front office, but the business office and the leasing office and work. There's so many places that we can go if we need to. I felt so isolated and so alone in this home. I never met any neighbors. I was always a part of the Facebook group, and I just felt like I never belonged. This neighborhood felt very cliquish to me, and it could just be because that's the way God intended it to be. But I'm very much so a person who needs to be in a place where people are active. But this was very much so a neighborhood where people wanted their privacy, and it was very, very apparent that people wanted to be left alone, and that not a lot of people, you didn't see street parties, you didn't see gatherings, you didn't see any of that. Now again, I understand I moved during COVID, but once COVID kind of got to where it was a thing where we were able to get a handle on it and things were a little different and people were starting to get together, I still, I would walk the neighborhood with my kids all the time, and we would always greet and we would always say hey, and conversations just never went any further than that. There was never, oh, welcome to the neighborhood. And I thought it was me for a while. But what I realized was a couple of days before I left, I saw on the Facebook page that someone else was complaining about the very same thing that I had held in my heart and my head for so long. But somehow I thought that it was my fault, or there was something wrong with me as to why my neighbors did not want to get to know me, or why the neighborhood never made me feel welcome. And I thought, oh, maybe it's just because I'm quote unquote just renting and I don't own this house, which I'm so glad, by the way, because nothing ever felt right about owning a house. And if you ever, you could be capable of owning a house and, have your credit right and your finances right. But if it doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right. And for me, I'm not ready to buy a house, and there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe in a year I will be. Maybe now that I've moved and I figure out other things about myself and what I want out of life, maybe I'll settle down. But this neighborhood was just not for me. And I heard her complaining, and then people coming back at her and attacking her. And I was like, this is the neighborhood that I've been living in. And not to say any shade, or not to throw any shade at the neighbors or the neighborhood, but I just never felt at home. I never felt welcomed by the neighborhood or by neighbors. And the house just felt very cold and not very warm to me. So yes, I have decided to move into an apartment, and while I've only been here for a week, I am absolutely loving it. I absolutely love the fact that if I feel lonely or isolated, I can walk outside my door and see people and actually talk to people. Or if I just really need to talk to someone, I can go up to the leasing office and ask questions, or I can ask questions. I've never been to Charlotte. I don't have family here. I don't have friends here. So it's a whole new, scary kind of experience for me. But we are so incredibly excited for this new journey of ours, and I'm just so excited. The house, or the apartment that we're in, it's beautiful. It's, dream kitchen again. And that's the thing about dreams, because I had so many people say to me, Jill, you're gonna miss that bedroom. Jill, you're not gonna have a backyard. I'm gonna be honest with you, my dog doesn't really like having a backyard. She likes going on walks. She never used that backyard except to go to the bathroom, and she is perfectly capable of doing that when we take her out on walks, which is good for me, my kids, and her, because we all are getting way more exercise in this week than we had in a really long time at that house. So I'm so excited. I definitely am very content with my decision. And while it was so scary to leave the comfort of Georgia and of this home and this house, it was much needed, and I'm so incredibly glad that I did it. And one thing I will say I will miss is, well, I was gonna say I would miss having an extra space for an office. But now that I've kind of been in here, I've been working more in the kitchen, and I actually really love it. And I also can go to the business center and work there, or Starbucks. So I actually don't think I'll miss it. And I actually have found that this place has really great lighting, and I feel like it's actually going to make my videos better and better quality with better lighting and all of that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was entertaining, or that you guys got to see a little bit of insight as to why I made the decision and what's to come for this channel. Definitely try-ons are coming back for sure, but give me some time on that as we settle into our new house. But definitely, for sure, make sure that you stay tuned, because we will be doing tons of vlogs and setting up my new house and decorating. I also sold pretty much everything, because when I say I needed a fresh start, I needed a fresh start. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much. It's because of you that I was able to make this move. Because of YouTube, I can work literally from anywhere. And it's because you guys are watching my videos and continuing to support me through everything. And I just am so appreciative to each and every single one of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.